Alright, well that guy just removed himself from the fight.
Huh.
Walk into the fire, you stupid fuck.
Do it! He wanted to ask you a question.
This is the worst.
I like how his sprite's not even returning fully. It's like every time he backs up, he loses more of his sprite.
He like disappears partially and reappears on the other side of the room. I love the Castlevania music. I know we already talked about it, but goddamn, it's so good. Ouch.
I did learn about an interesting thing the other day at work, though.
What's that?
Something called the Peter Principle.
The what?
The Peter Principle.
The Peter Principle?
Yes, and it has opened my eyes when it comes to promotions at work.
Okay.
Okay, so the basic thing about the Peter Principle. Okay. Let me read it. The Peter Principle is a concept in management theory formulated by Lawrence J. Peter, thus its name. And it's about the selection of a candidate for a new position, to be raised up.
Uh-huh.
Is based on their performance at their current role, and not whether or not they'd actually be good at the next role. So, you keep increasing people, you get them to the next level, and it's a little bit beyond them, but, they learn. And then because they do a good job there, you bump them up to the next level, and eventually it gets to a point where they just hit complete and absolute failure, and you get rid of them.
That's frightening.
But it's not their fault. You just put somebody who is good at their job in a position that they weren't ready for. They give the example of, somebody who, a really good engineer might not make a really good manager because they don't have the right interpersonal skills. But they're a great engineer. Son of a bitch. It's okay, Rip. It's okay. And it really shone some light on situations that I've been in at different jobs. That fireball gave you a whip upgrade.
Yep. Don't question it.
Video games, man.
These skeletons need to fuck off. I feel it overtaking me.
Darkness imprisoning me. All that I see.
Absolute
horror. I cannot live. I cannot die. Trapped in myself. Castlevania is my holding cell.
Give me a few hours and I'll come up with something real witty. I'm gonna start up those steps. Oh shit, I forgot about this already.
Oh yeah, Medusa heads and knights. It's the perfect mix. Yeah, the difficulty in the NES era, I don't miss it at all. At all.
Like everybody always gives a...
Everybody looks back with these fond nostalgia glasses. I remember how frustrating it was.
Yeah. And I think it's funny because everybody's been jumping back to the Souls games. everybody's always like, oh, these games are so hard. And I'm like, not really. I mean, they don't hold your hand.
Well, that's kind of a problem with video games nowadays. I will admit that. They do a lot of hand-holding, and it gets annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Illustrating, you know, the finer points or new mechanics that you're introducing is fine, but there is a certain amount of, okay, yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I'm there with you, game. Seriously, this part. Who designed this part? They're a terrible person. I'm glad you're playing. It's frustrating watching this. Actually, I know it's like we're like an hour into the recording or whatever. Because I don't remember exactly when.
Where'd he go?
What?
He vanished.
What? Oh God. Rip. It's invisible.
What? Oh, that's the worst.
You're gonna be hit by invisible axes now.
That's just what I need. Invisible assholes attacking me.
An invisible Medusa
Oh no!
heads.
No! I wasn't ready!
Oh no. Death.
God.
Don't fear the Reaper.
I'm terrified of the Reaper. I didn't even know I was up on a boss area. Anyway, you started to say something.
I did?
Yeah, you're like something about being an hour in.
Oh, I'm really excited that we're playing an old school game.
Why's that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't like the difficulty of this era of video games, but it's still exciting. It makes me feel like a kid again because, okay, this is one of the reasons why I really enjoy it when you're playing a game and I'm watching you play the game, because it reminds me of what I used to do when I was a kid. Because, do not get me wrong on this. My parents sacrificed, and I mean both sets, okay? We're talking my mom and my stepdad and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
They sacrificed a lot in order to give me a really good childhood for the most part. But, you know, I was not anywhere near being well off.
Yeah.
We were very poor. But you know, so I didn't have a lot of games. I was really excited when I got games. But, you know, I'd play the crap out of my games because I only had a few, and when I go visit my dad, because that's where my system was, because Well, I'll jump back into that part. Anyway, so I would go to my friend's house, where they would come over and bring their games, and I would sit there and watch them play. I'm trying to think of all the games I did that for. The Shadowrun game on the SNES.
There was a Shadowrun game on the SNES?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Did you play the Shadowrun Returns?
Yes, I did play that.
The dude that you meet at the beginning, the one that you find in the dead body rack.
Uh-huh.
That's the main character from the Shadowrun game.
Oh my god, that's awesome. That's a nice little throwback.
I'm pretty sure he's like a big, like, NPC type person from the series. But anyway. I watched my buddy Dan play that. Like every single Legend of Zelda game, although I would borrow them from him a lot and play them. Castlevania. I don't remember which one it was. I know I saw him play the one with Alucard.
Symphony of the Night.
Was that on SNES?
It was on the PS1. I think it might have also been on the Sega. I could be wrong on that. Yes, it was on the Sega, because one of the ports that I played was of the Sega port.
Let me look that up. Sin of the Night. Because I know I watched... Did he have a PlayStation? He must have had a PlayStation. I don't remember him having a PlayStation. Huh. Okay. I watched him play that. I know I watched him play some game that was on the SNES. My nose is getting all stuffy. Holy crap.
Your allergies are acting up.
Yeah, they really are. But anyway, long story. I can't really make it short because I've gone on and on and on. But this is what I would do. I would watch my friends play video games. It's very nostalgic for me to do this. Like, live vicariously through you.
Like, my friends would always kind of do this too. And I always felt weird about it. I felt like I was being selfish. But they were like, no, we enjoy watching. And it's like, I understand that, like, I'm like getting enjoyment out of it. But it still makes me feel like I'm being a selfish weirdo.
Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Dan would feel the same exact way. He'd be like, are you sure you don't want to play? I'm like, no! I'm having fun sitting next to you and watching you. It was really like the very first Let's Play.
Yeah.
Is he was playing it, and I was being his viewer. It was live streaming before streaming was a thing.
I don't know if we can really call that live streaming, but okay.
You know what I meant.
Just gonna...
Yeah, just spam it. You've got the 2. Oh, and now you've got the 3. But yeah, I really enjoy this, and the fact that it's, you know, the NES, SNES era, it just makes me feel more nostalgic.
Wow.
Well, that didn't last long.
No, because I had, like, no health.
You really didn't.
But, like, no, I really do see where you're, like, coming from with that. Oh, fucking skeletons.
It happens. Skeletons
needs to
happen.
be There are 2 taglines, though, I think, apply to all the Castlevania games. It's fucking skeletons and goddamn pets.
And some, you know, not fully legible scream about Medusa heads.
Oh, man. Like, they are the worst.
They really are. Okay, so what I was saying about my mom's was this is the interesting thing. Okay, so my parents got divorced pretty early on. I mean, I think I was like 1. Pretty sure I was 1 when it happened. So I mean, I was like, you know, super young when it happened. So my parents being divorced was the norm for me, and I thought it was really weird that people had parents who lived together, because mine didn't live together and worked perfectly fine, because my parents worked better as friends than they really did as
lovers.
Yeah. But to a degree, my dad would play the I'm the cool dad, you know, love me because you don't live with me, that kind of divorcee thing.
Yeah.
And so he's where I had the video games, but my mom wouldn't let me have video games outside of my Game Boy, which her best friend from college and might as well have been one of my godfathers, Bart, gave me his. He used to watch me all the time. When my mom was in college, I was with her. It was around the time when I was like 2 to 4. But she hated me playing. She really didn't like me playing video games. She didn't really like me watching cartoons. Which is really odd, because if you meet my mom, you would never think that she went through a stage in her life where she would, like...
Conservative.
Yeah. And this, like, not liking me, like, watching cartoons and stuff like that lasted for a really long time. So when I was... When I lived with... not lived with, but when I was younger, and when I was with my mom during the week, you know, I'd end up watching, like, a lot of Discovery Channel, a lot of TLC, back when they actually had science-y things on them.
You mean back before it was, look how many babies this chick pushed out of her vagina.
Or look at the funny short people. It's like, no offense to... That's what it feels like on the commercials.
Yeah.